When we speak about the axis of resistance, right, we are fundamentally speaking about points and routes that connect various parts of the Middle East, right, to Iran. Now, when we speak of points, right, we are fundamentally speaking of various groups around the Middle East which pledge allegiance, right, to the struggle that is waged by Iran against imperialists. For example, in Lebanon, you find a group known as Hezbollah, which has quite a strong military alliance with Iran. Then we move to Syria, where we find the government of Syria headed by Bashar al-Assad, right? Then we move to Iraq, where you find a number of militant groups which adhere and pledge allegiance to Iran. Then we move to Gaza, where you find about two groups which pledge allegiance to Iran. The first group is the famous one known as Hamas, right? And the second group is more ideologically aligned to Iran. It is known as the Palestinian um, Islamic Jihad. Now, the second part of when you speak about the axis of resistance, right, you are fundamentally speaking about illicit trade routes, right, underground trade routes, which are fundamentally ran and controlled by criminals in the narcotics game and the armament game. So it basically refers to routes which are taken to transport personnel, right, equipment, and weapons. Do you remember a famous general known as General Qasim Soleimani, who was killed in an airstrike in 3rd of January 2020? This guy was believed to be the mastermind of the axis of resistance, right? He was also believed to be the fundamental modern reiteration, right, of the axis of resistance. Now, in conclusion, in the early 2000s, when George W. Bush was the president of the United States of America, and he was about to invade Iraq because of a claim, right, of weapons of mass destruction, right, he referred to this axis of resistance as the axis of evil. When he was talking about the axis of evil, he was referring to the axis of resistance, which is fundamentally set up as a tool to stand up against imperial forces like the United States and the EU or Britain in general, right? Particularly in the Middle East.